Stop doing the buy, refurbish, refinance strategy with a mortgage. For 90% of situations, it's the wrong move and will cause you more problems than it's worth. Now, online, you're going to see a complete mix of opinions around this specific topic. So in this video, I am going to walk you through the reasons why I believe you should be doing your BRR deals with either cash or a bridging loan. Now, first off, let's take a look at mortgages, because mortgages, well, they are a longer term product, and usually they are designed for 2 years, sometimes 3 years, sometimes 5 years, and in rare cases, 10 years. And even if you get a variable rate or a tracker product instead of a fixed product, they are still designed for longer term use. You see, lenders don't like it if you take out a 2-year product but exit after 6 months. You might get away with it, let's say once or twice, but if you aren't careful, that lender will stop working with you and potentially flag you up to other lenders too. Not only this, but almost every mortgage product will have an early redemption penalty, also known as an ERC, which is an early repayment charge. This could cost you a percentage of the debt that you have been lent by the lender, and in many cases, making it just as expensive as using a bridging loan. The other thing that you might consider about a mortgage is the length of time that it takes to purchase a property. I know many mortgage buyers who say, look, I can buy a property within 6 weeks with a mortgage, don't worry about me. And there are many cases where that does actually happen. There's many people that can do that. If you have the right lender, the right solicitor, and the right timeline, it can happen. But there's equally just as many cases, if not more, where it takes 3 or 4 months for a property purchase to go through with a mortgage. It takes forever, and it really can be slow. Next up is where most investors fall down, simply because they don't understand a mortgage isn't just a long-term product, but also a product that requires the property to be in a livable and lettable condition. If you find a house, for example, that has damp or missing part of the kitchen, or maybe it's got rotten windows, maybe the door's boarded over, well, guess what? That property is not livable, it's not lettable in the immediate term, and therefore, it's not deemed as mortgageable. In fact, the vast majority of purchases that require full refurbishment will not be able to purchase on a mortgage and will actually require cash or bridging finance. So let's take this opportunity to actually consider the benefits to purchasing with cash. Well, first off, it absolutely has to be speed. Property purchases can go as quickly or as slowly as you want if you're a cash buyer. In many cases, cash purchases only take 4 to 6 weeks. So as an investor looking to build a portfolio quickly, there is a definite advantage to purchasing with cash and trying to do that within, say, 6 weeks versus trying to purchase a property with a mortgage where it might take, let's say, 12 weeks. You're effectively halving your timeline, and arguably you could complete twice the number of BRR projects in the same amount of time.
You have to be smart, you have to be calculated, you have to outthink, outwork, outscheme, and outmaneuver.
That has to be the number one benefit by far. But next up, and just as important, is the power of negotiation and the advantages that come with the perception of cash. It's often given more credit than it really is due, but a cash offer does have this kind of extra weight and extra power about it. I've been an estate agent in the past, and in the current time, I oversee lots of transactions as I have my sourcing company, Property X, and there's a common theme. People always value a cash buyer with a lot higher status. Therefore, a cash offer often wipes the floor with a mortgage buyer. Simple as that. So if you are making a low offer, you have an increased chance of getting that lower offer accepted just off the basis of you being a cash buyer. Hence why many, we buy any home kind of style companies can secure these massive discounts due to their cash offers and inevitably the speed that they can actually go and complete at. Finally, it has to be the cost saving element. Every time that you purchase with a mortgage or with a bridging loan, for that fact, there are going to be additional solicitor costs. There's going to be monthly interest payments, there's going to be arrangement fees, and there's going to be exit fees. So in most instances, you are adding at least £4,000 or £5,000 to each small BRR project that you complete on, or let's say at least an additional 5% in overall costs. So let's actually talk about bridging for a second. It's an expensive product, But often the most optimal route for investors looking to execute on flips or the buy, refurbish, refinance strategy if they don't have all the cash available to purchase and do the refurbishment. It brings a lot of similar positives that cash does, in my opinion, and it's a product that I've worked with and used on several occasions, but it does cost a lot more and there's a lot of paperwork to complete to go along with it. So when is a mortgage actually the right option? Well, quite simply, number one is when speed is not important for securing the deal or not essential for you as an investor, if you don't need it to go through in a certain timeline. Number two is when there simply isn't any other competition, or perhaps there's a limited amount of competing offers and therefore your position is less important. The importance of you being a cash buyer and being able to move in 4 weeks is no longer there. Number three is perhaps a property with a small refurbishment required, okay, where the condition is just about livable. Perhaps it's dated, but the kitchen's fine, the bathroom's fine, it's all in really good nick, perhaps it's got good windows, a good roof, no damp, then fine. The condition is great, means that you can go ahead and buy with a mortgage. And number four, lastly, when there is no urgency to do a refinance. So to conclude, stop trying to do your buy, refurbish, refinance projects using a mortgage. Become a smarter and a better investor. Use cash or use bridging if you don't have the full available capital to do it cash. Focus less on the cost saving or cutting corners with a mortgage, and focus more on securing better deals where you can potentially complete the projects quicker and maybe even raise finance to do more of these deals in the future. I hope this has been a useful watch. As always, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.